Okay, well, this is Mike Coyle with Metal Temple, and I'm here with Mr. Chris Barnes of 6 Feet Under. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing? You doing okay?
I'm doing very well. Just been a bit stressed these past few days because I do internet technology and programming over here in the UK, so I do a lot of coding, and I've been up for the past 2 nights, basically making a fully operational website, which is a bit of a hassle when the code doesn't work.
Oh yeah, I bet that would probably kill your brain real quick.
Kinda, yeah. It just wears you out. But I'm used to it. A university can be a real pain in the ass sometimes. But it's been exciting. It's been exciting today because it's my day off and I get to interview one of my heroes. So I'm really honored to be doing this.
Oh, well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So where are you at this time, anyway?
Where am I now?
Yeah. Is it like over in the States? I mean, probably a bit sunny right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's the middle of the day here. I live in Seattle, so.
I'm a Florida boy.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but I live in Manchester, so it's been gloomy as hell over here. We got some rain today, so at least that's something. So the first thing I wanted to really ask you officially was, how are you doing generally the first question I wanted to ask was, with the new record coming out, I wanted to ask what was different in making this process compared to the last record, Unborn?
Oh, well, on Unborn, I worked with a few different writers, and on this album, I worked with one different writer, with Phil Hall, and we wrote the whole album together. All right.
And how would you say this album actually goes? I mean, compared to the last 2 records, which were by artwork they were very similar but very different. How would you say this new record goes compared to the last 2? Would you say that with this new 6 Feet Under record things have progressed quite far, or would you say that you've kept to the formula since the first record?
Oh, since the first record, I always like things to be moving forward, but being somewhat having the same feel to it, if you will, as far as you're going to know the band when you hear it type of thing.
Yeah. Well, with 6 Feet Under, it's very distinctive because your type of vocals are very, very renowned for being really heavy and also really raw to the sound. I mean, as a vocalist going for this many years, how would you say you've been able to keep up with that style? I mean, that aggressive style of heavy, powerful vocals.
I just try to keep myself in good condition and just well rehearsed. And I like doing what I do, so I try to change it up every album. Since the first album I did with Cannibal Corpse, I tried to sing a little bit different each record and just try to accommodate the music, because that's where it all comes from. My inspiration for lyrics, for choice of song titles and story, the way I present lyrics within a song.
Of course.
It all starts from the music, really, as far as my approach goes. So just keeping it fresh on that end of things keeps me fresh enough and interested in what I'm doing.
Well, that's really cool. I mean, I remember watching that years ago before Cannibal. You had a very different style of vocals when it came down to your thrash stuff, and over time, it's like your vocals have evolved from a very light approach to a very harder approach, which goes to show that because you take care of yourself, you've been able to actually keep that energy going, which is amazing.
Well, I try, and I haven't had an album like Eaten Back to Life, that kind of brings out that more thrashy side of singing, you know. And then I never really wanted to do the same thing twice. I just really wanted to kind of build on what I've learned and then just start fresh and approach each album when I first start writing lyrics and vocals and stuff. Just approach it like I haven't done anything else before. And like it's the first thing I've ever written. I just try to bring myself back into, you know, and it just is trying to not think about anything else but the project that you're working on, and trying to clear your head of that, of all the nonsense that you don't really need.
I see what you mean by that, like making it fresh for the fan to actually admire more.
Well, it's for myself, really, to keep myself interested, so I can accomplish what I think the song needs itself, instead of confusing it with what I think I need to do with the song. So I just let the song work, you know, and speak to me on that level, instead of trying to force something on it. It's just, I mean, it's obvious you can't really make one particular vocal style work for a dynamic set of songs. You know, there's so many differences. I mean, a vocal sound, for example, like on Covered with Sores, wouldn't really work for a song like This Graveyard Earth, or America the Brutal, even, you know, going to that extreme. So it's just, I tailor things subtly with the vocal tone that I think works best.
Oh, very interesting. For the new album, who was behind the artwork for this one?
A guy named Mike Hevrchak. That he's a great artist, man. He's done a number of things, but he's also known as a death metal vocalist. I think he's the vocalist in the band Monstrosity, and I think he did vocal work with Vile. Yeah, so Mike's a great, talented guy that he came at me on Facebook, man, sent me a message and said, hey, I got some artwork, why don't you check these pieces out? And the cover that we chose, that was one of his, I just was like, man, I was just about to start writing lyrics, so it was kind of eerie in that sense. And it really speaks to me. I've never really had a piece of artwork. I have, but not in this way, before I started writing an album with the lyrics and stuff, and just main ideas, and so it was a different starting point for me. And yeah, he did a great job. Yeah,
I mean, it's really powerful artwork. I gotta say, really detailed. I have to admit, I mean, it's looking fantastic. Because with what I'm doing as well, after this interview, in the next week or so, I'm actually getting the new album to review, and from what I've heard, it really sounds incredible from that standpoint.
Oh, okay. Thanks, man. Thank you.
I mean, I like you said before, there's always something different, and that's what I've always noticed with 6 Feet Under. It's like there's always something different to listen to, but also there's that classic, powerful sound which you can really familiarize yourself with. But I was wondering, though, for the new album's title, where did that come from, if I may ask, for the Crypt of the Devil?
You know, when I looked at the artwork, I felt like that kind of spoke to me on a couple different levels. Like, you're gonna crawl into the hole, some horrible dark hole into the human mind and existence, or you know, you could take it literal. And I like kind of a multi-meaning type of album title or song title, something like that.
Oh wow! So, one question I like to ask really is: during your career in death metal, what would you say has been one of your proudest moments being in this genre of metal?
Oh wow, man. Just having the good fortune of the fans that I have that enjoy the work that I've done.
Now, I've always wanted to ask this question. I saw this on an interview a long time ago. What was to you? What was Chuck Schuldiner like in person? To actually, you guys did a few shows together back when you were in Cannibal, didn't you?
Yeah, we did a couple tours together. We did some shows together. Yeah, local shows. From day one, he was someone that I knew pretty well. And, yeah, he was a real special guy, and really a really good person, and he always treated me with respect, and I learned a lot from him, and we shared a lot of good times together and a lot of laughs, and yeah, he was the real deal, you know. And he also enjoyed exploring music because it was a part of him as well, and a way for him to explore himself and explore ideas, and you know, and that's we share that for sure. And he was a real great person.
I mean, he was an innovator with progressive sounds, especially. I mean, that's it must have been one of the most unique experiences a person could actually go through.
Yeah, he was definitely a nice guy. He shared a lot. I got to sing, you know, some shows with him on stage. He asked me up on stage to sing some songs, and you know, one song actually. But you know, we had a lot of good times, and yeah, man, he was a great force in music, and he still is. You know, that part of him will never leave. I think that. Yeah, that's the way to remember someone, is by their music, I suppose.
So, with the new album being released, is there any plans for 6 Feet Under to play the UK at any point with the new material?
I'm not really sure. You know, the booking agents and stuff are working on that now, and we're hoping to get over to Europe for a full run of dates, you know, towards the end of the year.
Yeah, because it has been a very long time since 6 Feet Under actually played the UK.
Yeah, it definitely has. It's been a real long time.
I don't think you guys have come to the UK since I was back in high school.
Yeah, it's been a long time, so it's long overdue. I'm hoping that some local promoters put in some offers to the agencies, and all that works out. You know. Well,
there's a lot of good there's a lot of good agencies down in the UK now, actually, because down here we have a lot of independent ones that have been pulling in a lot of big acts, like a friend's promotions company was able to pull in Marduk over in here, and that's actually...
Yeah. We just got off tour with them guys. They were opening up some dates we did in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland a couple weeks ago. We just finished that.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Good run of dates.
Me and my friend actually interviewed the guitarist when they came over, and it was a pretty... He was a pretty... he was a nice guy to talk to. He was a...
Yeah. Pretty cool, man. Yeah, they were all really great guys.
So, I mean, what would you say the future for 6 Feet Under certainly rephrase that. With the new record out and everything happening, how would you say the future for 6 Feet Under is going right now?
I'll let you know in about a week, man, when this thing's out. You know,
I know. I mean,
yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't really know. I think everything's going great, but I'm waiting for other people to let me know if I'm right or wrong.
Well, I personally feel this is a very relevant time for 6 Feet Under, because there are a lot more fans I've been seeing around Manchester, where I live, that's popping about, because they first found you in Cannibal, and then they really love 6 Feet Under, and it's a really profound feeling, really, because
well, I like that, man. I like getting that kind of feedback, other than we hate you, Chris Barnes, go die.
No, I would never actually say that, because honestly, in my opinion, I think that I personally feel that you're an important innovator in this subgenre of metal, because this comes to the next question, actually. When did you start to develop that growl with Cannibal?
I think it was probably right around the end of the writing on Eaten Back to Life. I think I was just trying to match as our writing style changed from as the guitar kind of tone and the way we were putting songs together kind of changed. I tried to, like I said earlier, accommodate the songwriting with the way I thought the vocals sounded the best against the songs.
Yeah.
And when I heard how much more distortion and attack the music started having when we started writing Butchered at Birth, I just felt like my vocals had to try to match that distortion and blend in with it on that album, and that kind of set it off that way, and a lot of that was Bob Rousse's writing, our original guitarist. He outlined the songs a lot and wrote a lot of the parts, and then Jack and Alex would go back and kind of polish them up and put everything together and do it like that, and add some of their own stuff within that. And so Bob's writing on those two albums, with certain rhythms that he was doing that I could syncopate against, though on those two albums, that caused me to use that vocal tone a little bit more within those rhythms, because those rhythms existed. Now when I've changed my vocal style on The Bleeding, because he was out of the band and was no longer an influence on me at all, or the writing of the music, so I had to accommodate the music with more of a tone down, like more like how my vocal tone is now, is more like how my it's more closely related to The Bleeding, maybe some people would say.
Now I've always wondered, but how do you actually get that tone of vocal? How do you actually practice that and actually maintain it after all these years?
It's just like anything else, it's like exercise. You do something enough times, and your voice gets strengthened by doing it. Just like you're a tennis player growing up as a tennis. Sorry, are you there still?
No idea what was happening there. I just said it was paused.
Yeah. Where were we? About maintaining my...
something about... We were talking about your voice, and you were saying something about a tennis... about...
Yeah, you know how, like, if you're a kid, man, growing up playing tennis, and you become a pro tennis player, your right arm, if you're right-handed, is going to be longer than your left arm. Your body just grows into something. So that's really kind of what, doing this for so long, my body's kind of become that, and that's just not anything abnormal for it. It's not a shock to my system at all. So I just keep in good shape doing that, rehearsing, 4 times, 5 times a week, and 6 or 7 times a week before a tour starts. So.
Oh, cool. So, I mean, before a live show, what do you do to relax, or do you have anything you have to have before you go on stage to relax you?
No, I don't get anxiety or anything like that. It doesn't really. Going on stage to me is easier if I'm in front of 100 people, 100,000 people. It's easier than being in a room with 5 people by myself, So that's how I feel about it. I don't really. I don't need to relax. I don't really get psyched. I mean, I guess I get psyched up a little bit if I see people having a good time, or I definitely, it gives me a smile when I see a lot of people out there, but I'm pretty immune to the whole emotion of it. It's, to me, that's like taking care of business, man, so I'm going to give it, it's like I'm running a marathon, or, playing a game out there with you.
So, I mean, I've always been curious. To this day, do you still keep in touch with the guys in Cannibal?
Not really, no. I mean, once in a while, we'll run into each other, or I'm more Alex than anyone else, or Jack. I talk to Jack probably the most out of anybody.
Yeah.
But he's not in Cannibal, so not anymore.
He's on Dayside nowadays.
Yeah, maybe that's why we get along so well. I don't know.
No, I mean, it seems like everyone's doing great in their respective places. Like Jack in Dayside, you in 6 Feet Under, and the rest of the guys in Cannibal. It's like, it's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, I remember the other night I was watching the documentary, Century of the Torment, and I never realized, like I said before, I never realized that you guys all started in a few separate bands. Like that's pretty surreal, and then it all just came together to form one whole band.
Yeah, that's really how it happened. It is. Yeah.
It's pretty weird, because I look at the old pictures of you with the long straight hair, and now the dreads. It's pretty cool, but pretty weird at the same time, if you get me.
Yeah, time goes by, man.
Yeah, like I said, the first time I ever got on the Cannibal was I was sat down on my couch, and I was with my mom, and suddenly, before they clipped out the scene for local TV over here, I saw this band on stage and Jim Carrey going wild, and I'm thinking, whoa, what's this? And I think I was like 5 or 6 years old at the time.
Cool, man.
I've always wanted to ask on your part, what was that like? What was that like for you being on the set with for that movie, and finding out that Jim Carrey was actually a fan of the music?
It was really cool. He was really, really nice to us, and we had full access, and they showed us all sorts of the dailies in the editing room, and it was just a really I think now it would be an unheard of experience. You would never get to do all the stuff that we got to do. They would just bring you in, you do your part, and leave. But we felt like for those 3 days we were part of the production in a way, and so were our fans, man. They went to local venues during like a couple weeks prior to the shoot, and actually recruited extras from hardcore and death metal underground concerts locally in Miami and Fort Lauderdale, and those people were all fans of the band, and they were all being filmed, and it was a great time. It was, like I said, something that probably would never happen like that ever, you know. And so I feel like that was really something that marked my career and theirs too.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool because later on in my life, I found the music, and I started to remember the name, and I'm like, holy shit! I saw this. I watched this band in a movie when I was 5 or 6 years old. This is fucking weird. No, but I think I found 6 Feet Under, I think, near the end of high school, and I'm just thinking to myself, I find out that it was actually you on vocals. I'm thinking, no fucking way, this is pretty fucking awesome shit right here. I mean, this is stuff I can because I actually do death metal music myself. Actually, I had both guitars and vocals, and bands like Cannibal and 6 Feet Under were really a massive process in inspiring a kid like me to want to do something like that. Because after
okay, cool, man, thank you.
And especially after watching Centuries of Torment, watching the history of how it all grew up, it made me more confident, finding out that it all started from one place and then it grew to another place, and it showed that. And from what I saw, you guys were the local heroes. You know, you were the first band around there to be signed by a major label, which was very inspirational for me and my friends.
Yeah. We definitely were, man. It was a good time, and a lot of things were different back then. That you know, yeah. So
I mean, back then you guys were supporting Dark Angel, and I'm watching Dark Angel at this thing called the Bloodstock Festival down here in the UK with Death to All playing. Oh,
okay, yeah. I heard about that they were getting back together.
Yeah, I saw them back in 2013, and now recently they did another one down here doing a celebration of the Symbolic record.
Right.
It was pretty special, and I gotta say that it's pretty cool to still see all you guys still doing this stuff, because nowadays, unfortunately, there is a kind of a split down the middle of good music and bad music. Nowadays, it's more like a musical war, like who is better than the other. But it's good to still see these bands still going on, and I don't think there's that feeling within the bands of a war, like you said that.
With the fans. I think it's more like just like little kids on the internet trying to act tough. Just act funny, maybe, more or less. I don't even think these guys try to act big and tough. I think they're just looking for attention, more or less. So I think people get all riled up about those little characters, but I don't think, I just let that pass by me. I just got my fly swatter. I swat the little flies away and that's go on with my day.
That's fucking awesome stuff, because coming from me, really, before I go into the next question, really, I just want to say that the type of vocals that I actually try and do are actually inspired by what you did back in Cannibal and also on the first 6 Feet Under record, because when I first heard you doing those vocals, I'm thinking that's what I want to do when I'm older. I want to be that kind of that kind of extreme in vocals and actually see if I can take it to my own level. And honestly, I think if it wasn't for Cannibal Corpse and also, of course, your vocal styles, I wouldn't have been really moved to start doing those kind of front, hard, and also very powerful vocals, which I still admire to this day.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean, I hear that a lot, and that's really a nice compliment. Thank you.
So, I mean, on the whole hand, whenever you visit a place on tour, do you ever take the time to visit around the area, like see what's about, or do you just keep yourself to yourself before the show?
Yeah, pretty much. I try to stay on my routine every day, so my focus is putting on a good show and making sure I'm in in the right frame of mind, and just the right place to do that. So I keep my schedule as close to the same as it is at home as I can, and I don't fuck with my sleep and stuff like that.
So I guess the final two questions are, the first one is, what can the fans expect from the new record?
I think it's a great group of songs that if you're a fan of 6 Feet Under, you'll really like it.
And finally, do you have any words for the fans listening back at home? I just hope you all enjoy the record. We worked real hard on it, and hope to get to see everyone real soon as well. And I hope to see you guys soon as well over in the UK. If it's London or Manchester, I don't care. I'm going to try and find a way of seeing you guys at last after waiting all this time. But either way, I've pre-ordered the new album. I'm looking forward to getting my copy in the mail. So I guess from me, I just want to say thank you very much for your time. It has been a true pleasure interviewing you, Mr. Barnes, and I hope you have a good day.
Oh, thanks, Mike. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much. So this is Mike Coyle of Metal Temple, and thank you for